Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 203 based on novel. So let's start. When Luo Feng reached Jade Dome Planet and met with his big brother Hong in the restaurant in one of the 108 cities, Qiankang City, Silver Snow official's residence. Qiankang, the Silver Snow official, had great power and was deeply rooted in the Ganwu universe country. As one of the 300 emperor officials, back then when this huge man-made Jade Dome Planet was built, there was one special city named Qiankang, and it was left for Silver Snow official to govern. In terms of power, it far exceeded that of the god of the sacred land of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Within Silver Snow official's residence, Master, a dark red-skinned little man with pointy ears and jade-green eyes, knelt respectfully. Hong has finally left that Bushka's family residence. He's gone to a Morning Star restaurant within Treasury City. That punk has finally come out. The man sitting in an exquisite robe in a throne, had long black hair, pale skin, silver light gleamed from his black eyes. From his appearance, he was very much like the Chinese people of Earth, only the energy he naturally exuded was much more powerful. Master, the dark red-skinned skinny man looked up and looked at his master. The Jisha family, as an ancient family existing for over 100 million years, and had trillions of heirs. Being one of the blood descendants wasn't anything to be proud of, simply because the family was just too huge. Hence, it was extremely hard to even stand out. Everything depended on one's ability, and his master G Landang worked really hard since he was young. His talent was not bad, he finally became a universe-level warrior. Being able to become a universe-level warrior, naturally he was more favored within the Jisha family, owning over 1,000 life planets. However, within the huge family, G Landang was still ultimately at the bottom level. After all, the domain lords and sector lords in the family were plentiful, the universe levels were even more than those two. Originally, G Landang would have simply led a quiet life. However, he casually had an affair with a maid and had a daughter Ji Qing. G Landang's fate would immediately change from then. His daughter Ji Qing had displayed shocking amounts of talent since young, growing at an unbelievable rate. It immediately caught the attention of the Jisha family's upper echelons, hence they nurtured her. After which, she was even absorbed into the Universe Mercenary Alliance as a core member. A core member of one of humanity's 5 Leviathans? Those were all super geniuses. Over 1 trillion years, the Jisha family, even though they had nurtured a few core members that were absorbed into the core of the 5 Leviathans, those weren't all the bloodline of the family, but rather geniuses from their snow border starfield territory, and Ji Qing was the first in countless years, an absolute genius to get absorbed with their bloodline. Even the ancestor of the Jisha family, the first-generation head, Silver Snow official Ji Qiankang, was shocked and felt gleeful from it. Ji Qing's position in the family naturally shot straight up. She was placed beside the top 10 figures in the family. Even the sector lords didn't dare show her any disrespect. His daughter's position had exploded. As the father, G Landang's position naturally followed upwards. He was placed in charge of governing 10 galaxies within the snow border star field, immediately becoming one of the important figures in the family. I didn't expect that the few years I was not on Jade Dome Planet, little Qing would actually fall for a desolate aboriginal punk. HMPH. No matter what, I must get rid of anything that obstructs her future. This is what I as a father must do. G Landang's eyes gleamed. After finding out about his daughter, G Landang immediately sat in a universe ship and rushed back to Jade Dome Planet. However, all this while, Hong had been staying in Bushka's residence, and that family was after all that of an Undying's. Maybe the high and mighty Silver Snow official can simply not care about it, but the other members within the family didn't dare to. An Undying was after all still an Undying. Hence G Landang hadn't gone to meet Hong all this while, and now he finally found the chance. Ji Qing was his precious daughter. And she was also his golden ticket. The only reason he could rise to this level in the family was because of his daughter. The moment she was gone, his power and position would probably disappear too. I definitely won't allow this. G Landang gripped both his fists tight. Lead the way, I want to go to Morning Star restaurant. G Landang ordered. Yes, master. The dark red-skinned skinny man knelt down. Within the 3rd-story booth of Morning Star restaurant, Luo Feng was chatting with Hong when suddenly, peng, 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 knocks on the door. Luo Feng frowned. Come in. Hong looked at the door too. The door was pushed open. The tall and handsome male staff bowed respectfully. There are people downstairs who wish to meet you. Meet who? Luo Feng was curious. They say some guy named Hong. The staff felt pressure coming from the people within the booth, slowly getting more apologetic and humble. This was the real world. The moment he offended some powerful being, he would lose his life. Big brother, it's for you. Luo Feng smiled at Hong. Hong looked at the staff, let them in. Yes, the staff respectfully left only then. Who wants to meet me? I don't know many people on Jade Dome Planet. Hong shook his head suspiciously. Luo Feng laughed loudly and said, they even know your name, they are probably familiar with you, it may even be that lady Ji Qing. Ji Qing? Hong frowned lightly. Suddenly the footsteps from the stairs outside resounded, they were obviously heavy. Luo Feng and Hong both looked outside. Your Majesty, it's a Universe Level 9 and a Domain Lord Level 9, no threat at all. The black-robed bald Dylan sat beside and squinted, communicating to Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded. A silhouette finally appeared at the door. It was two men, of which the Universe Level 9 man had black hair, a square face, and his skin was pale, similar to the Chinese of Earth. And the other Domain Lord Level 9 man was slightly bigger, his skin was purple, his obviously longer fingernails were as sharp as daggers, his eyes were purple too. From the way they walked in, the Domain Lord Level 9 should be a bodyguard. How do you do, Hong? The square-faced man looked at Hong. You are? Hong looked suspiciously at the man. Let me introduce myself, I am Ji Qing's father, G Landang. The man said. Luo Feng frowned. Ji Qing's father has appeared? From the looks of it, his own big brother had yet to meet Ji Qing's father. Hong immediately stood up and said, Mr. Ji. I know about Ji Qing's matter. After I found out, I immediately rushed over from Snowboarder Starfield. G Landang's eyes looked calmly at Hong. Only these past period you've been at Bushka residence all this while, I couldn't pay you a visit. Today I am here without any malice, purely as her father. I understand. Hong nodded and listened. You are very exceptional. G Landang looked at Hong. I heard your performance in the Ganwu Universe country's internal genius battle was not bad. Even though you weren't accepted into the virtual universe company, however, no one can deny you are a very exceptional youth. Hong listened. However, Hong. G Landang sighed slightly, you are different from my daughter. My daughter lives in the Jisha family, a family at least 100 times stronger than your Black Dragon Mountain Starfield royal family. You are a lone warrior, you can follow your teacher and wander without anything holding you back, no pressure. G Landang sighed again, however, my daughter lives in this family. The internal struggle and pressure within is extremely huge. In the Jisha family, the moment you are not careful and slip, you will be stepped on by 10 million people. Do you understand all these? I do. Hong nodded. The internal struggle within the royal families were intense. A super family like the Jisha family in the universe had extra intense struggles for power within. Hence, my daughter Ji Qing cannot go down the wrong path. The moment she does, it'll be impossible to return. G Landang looked at Hong. And your affair with her has already enraged our head ancestor of the Jisha family. When he rages, the entire family will be at unrest. Hong was silent. Hence, I hope you leave her for her sake, don't pester her and contact her. G Landang said seriously. Don't contact her via the virtual universe network, and quickly leave Jade Dome Planet. I hope you can disappear from her world. Once you do that, she'll remain as the head ancestor's most favorite child. If you continue to pester her, you will endanger her position and put her in a place where she cannot return from. G Landang stared at Hong. Hong was silent. Hong's fist, which was blocked by the table, was clenched tight. They had gone pale, even his expression was ugly. Luo Feng frowned. With my status as her father, I plead with you, let her off. I believe that you also wish for her to have a good future, right? G Landang looked at Hong. Hong stood there. I understand. Hong nodded. I hope to hear the news of you leaving Jade Dome Planet. That way, I as her father will be incredibly grateful to you. G Landang bowed slightly. After he finished, he turned and left with his bodyguard. From the start to end, he never noticed Luo Feng or the Undying Dylan. When an Undying doesn't wish to reveal his identity, how would G Landang and his bodyguard, at that level of power, be able to discover him? There was silence within the restaurant. Hong, who had been controlling himself, had gone completely pale, after which he shook his head and forced a smile. Third brother, isn't this a joke? Hong looked at Luo Feng, nothing funny about it. Luo Feng shook his head. Hong shook his head. Hong saw clearly through the situation. Hence, even though Ji Qing's father seemed very courteous, however the meaning behind those words, Hong naturally saw through it. This Ji Qing's father was obviously hating his guts. He couldn't wait for Hong to leave Jade Dome Planet and vanish from Ji Qing's world. To be hated by the girl he loved, Hong was feeling really bad within, big brother. Luo Feng patted Hong's shoulder. I'm fine. Hong shook his head. Luo Feng couldn't help but frown. Just what was going on with Silver Snow official? Even if it was an absolute genius, weren't they allowed to have relationships? What joke was this? Luo Feng sent Hong back to Bushka residence that day. Hong even said as he left, "Third brother, I may require your help in this problem. However, you have to get your information and facts right first about the situation, and don't simply jump into it. If it really harms Ji Qing in any way, then big brother, I know this." Luo Feng nodded. This was also the reason Luo Feng didn't reveal himself earlier. When that G Landang came, Luo Feng had adjusted his facial muscles slightly to prevent G Landang from recognizing him. No matter what, it still wasn't the time to meet with Silver Snow official Ji Tiankang. His big brother's matter, Luo Feng didn't dare rush in and make a mess of things. Doing bad things with kindness was after all still ultimately making a mess of things. Time passed, and even though Luo Feng had been staying in Swallow Mountain Villa since he came to Jade Dome Planet, he had been in the nutrition cabin all this while. Hasn't left, that Hong is still staying at Bushka residence. G Landang walked about in the hall. This youth is also an exceptional genius within the Universe Country Genius Battle. These sort of geniuses, their pride is extremely strong. Whether it's for his own pride or for the laughable love, he should have long left the planet after my words. Master is indeed still staying at Bushka residence. The dark red-skinned skinny man said respectfully as he knelt. Bastard. G Landang's eyes were almost popping out of its socket. It looked like he really wanted to bring people to kill Hong immediately. However, he was clear too, that since the head ancestor Silver Snow official didn't send anyone to make a move, then no one below was to make their own moves. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, even though G Landang grew more anxious, Hong still stayed within Bushka residence without stepping out at all. It made G Landang extremely enraged. All this time, Luo Feng had been quietly staying within Swallow Mountain Villa. Swallow Mountain Villa, the main level study. The nutrition cabin was placed in the corner of the room, while beautiful colorful vines were stretched out throughout the entire room. They all glowed and glimmered with leaves along the vines. All of them seemed to be undergoing change, color and appearance, all constantly evolving. Your Majesty. Dylan's voice pierced through the walls and resounded within the study. The nutrition cabin's door automatically opened and a naked black-haired man with an almost perfect body walked out from the ice-cold valuable nutrition liquid. Simultaneously a green armor grew over his body. This level for genetic armor was something the Virtual Universe Company had sent over. Such an item, this was something the company gave to all its core members. The vines which covered the entire walls of the room suddenly swiftly turned and wrapped about Luo Feng's arm. Cloud Contact Vine. Luo Feng gently rubbed the leaves and smiled. Take this period of time to slowly evolve. Once you finish your evolution, then you'll join me in battles again. Immediately the vines that were upright all drooped down, almost as though it was nodding. At the same time, a sense of strong reliance came from the vine. It was that of a child towards its parents. Ha ha, it'll be quick, another 2 months and your evolution will be finished. Luo Feng wore the green armor inside and a silver armor outside, pushing open the study room door and walking out. Your Majesty. Dylan slightly bowed as he stood outside, smiling. Congratulations on reaching the Domain Lord level 8. Still quite a bit from level 9. Luo Feng smiled. As from Domain Lord level 1 to 9, the later it got, the more the required amount of energy was. Especially the final 3 levels, the amount of energy required was the most. For Luo Feng to reach level 9 required about 6 months of time. It had already been 4 months, it would probably take another 2 months. Your Majesty, the Virtual Universe Company people are downstairs. Dylan said, let's go. Luo Feng nodded and quickly reached the first level living room. 3 white-robed staff stood there. When they saw Luo Feng and Dylan, they all simultaneously bowed. Your Majesty, ha ha, seeing you really makes me happy. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with anticipation. Has my universe ship been fully repaired and upgraded? Yes, Your Majesty. The leading white-robed old man was apologetic. The upgrading took up quite a bit of time, hence, we've only been able to send it over now. Please forgive the tardiness. No problem. Let's go to the underground warehouse. Luo Feng couldn't wait any longer. Let me look at her. Yes. Luo Feng and Dylan, along with the three white-robed staff, all walked down to the incredibly vast underground warehouse. The leading old man led the way for Luo Feng and bowed. Your Majesty, look. As he spoke, he pointed ahead. Immediately the triangular ship appeared out of mid-air within the warehouse. The energies the ship exuded caused the surrounding space to slightly tremble. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed as he stared at the ship. Yumo planet ship. This was a 800 m diameter long huge object. Its three edges were incredibly thin and piercing. The entire ship was covered in faintly visible perfect origin lore engravings. They made the ship naturally exude a terrifying energy and aura. Without a doubt, the moment such a ship accelerated, even if a meteorite smashed into it, it would crumble like tofu and be sliced apart, not even really affecting the ship's speed. Your Majesty, this ship is constructed completely from F9 grade metal hybrid copper essence, and a great master from the Virtual Universe Company helped complete and improve the origin lore engravings. Its defense has reached a terrifying level. Even an Emperor-level Undying would find it extremely hard to break through this ship. The white-robed old man pointed at the ship and laughed. Such a ship, as long as it fuses with an undying metal life form, it would definitely be worthy of an Emperor-level Undying. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Yumo planet ship? The repaired ship was going to accompany him for very, very long. Luo Feng, hurry and go in, hurry and go in. Barbata pushed. With the old man leading, Luo Feng began to understand just how powerful the repaired Yumo planet ship had become. The ship's main defense has risen. Along with its energy barrier, its defense had risen by 40% from before. In the control room screen, Barbata's head image appeared. He was extremely excited. When the ship accelerates, its instantaneous turning and movement speed has also risen 80%. Its greatest speed has reached a shocking 50 times light speed. The skills of the Virtual Universe Company and its technology are simply too powerful. From a definite perspective, the Virtual Universe Company has completely brought the Yumo planet ship to its maximum capabilities. To improve on it further, the best way is to let an undying metal life form fuse with it, allowing it to have a life property. Ha ha. After so many years, I can finally once again control the Yumo planet ship. Barbata was extremely excited on the screen. Suddenly, however, he seemed hurt as he went silent. But Master Luo Feng. Barbata looked at Luo Feng, his eyes gleaming. You definitely have to avenge Master next time. Luo Feng nodded, definitely. Barbata looked at Luo Feng as he recalled back then on Earth, that careful little youth that sneaked into the Yumo planet ship. Back then Barbata was simply doing so because he had no other choice, allowing Luo Feng to accept the inheritance of Hu Yangbo, becoming the only living disciple. Back then Barbata even forbade Luo Feng from ever asking questions about Hu Yangbo's enemy because even he himself never thought there would be a day Luo Feng would be able to avenge Hu Yangbo. However, now Barbata saw hope. The three greatest natural talents, shocking willpower, powerful background, and nurturing from the Virtual Universe Company. Luo Feng, he will eventually become an Emperor-level Undying. There's definitely hope. When that time comes, when it comes, he'll be able to kill that bastard. Barbata anticipated in silence. Luo Feng, however, simply kept checking out the rest of the ship. Yumo planet ship, just like the Universe Galaxy Bank's several specially private room constructs, it was able to completely seal of spirit energy scans, etc. The Yumo planet ship system abilities, unless it was an Undying forcefully using his god energy to invade the ship, anything under an Undying wouldn't be able to do a soul attack powerful enough to permeate the ship. After entering the ship, it's really safe here. Luo Feng thought. When I become Undying next time, and the Mosha clansmen immune to soul attacks with the ship's powerful defense, the two combined, it's truly an invincible combination. The good news came one after another. The next day after Luo Feng acquired his life and death partner the Yumo ship, the Virtual Universe Company's deployment finally came. Virtual Universe Yuxiong Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. Within his study, Luo Feng sat before his desk, looking at the mail notification he received on his laptop. It was the order sent by the Virtual Universe Company. Luo Feng, from today on, you are the supervisor envoy of the Virtual Universe Company for the Ganwu Department. You have special supervising authorities against the military, business and army departments. Barbata shouted on his shoulder. Ha ha, Luo Feng, from now on, the 3 tycoons of the Gunwu department will have to fear you. Luo Feng looked silently at the contents of the deployment. The order was simple. This deployment was a test for domain lord level. Just with the supervising job alone, on the day Luo Feng reaches sector lord level, he would acquire 100,000 points. During the deployment, the virtual universe company will occasionally send out special missions for you to do. Every mission will have point rewards. A part of the mail said this. Obviously, during the nurturing period, the universe-level geniuses could do the training missions and the domain lord geniuses could do these extra missions. As for the sector lord level, they were doing life or death missions. These would all bring out point rewards. Now that the deployment has been sent, the Gunwu department would simultaneously receive the notification. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Now should be the time I stepped up and pay a visit to the 3 tycoons. With the order on him, Luo Feng's status was naturally different from before. With this order official, I'm actually able to directly transfer to the Gunwu department from my villa in the virtual universe. Luo Feng looked at the mail and its information on the screen, making some important notes before nodding satisfied. To the Gunwu department. Luo Feng thought. He immediately vanished from his study and was teleported straight to the Gunwu department in the virtual universe. Within the virtual universe, in an allotted space. This space had many large continents and one of them represented a universe country. Surrounding these large continents were a blur of many islands. These either represented the middle-level civilizations or special locations. Like the Black Dragon Mountain Island under the Gunwu continent, this was the place that the residents of Black Dragon Mountain Empire would appear at when they entered the virtual universe network. On Amethyst Island under the Gunwu continent. This was an incomparably beautiful island completely made from amethyst. Even when its entire surface was compared to the Black Dragon Mountain Island, it was still extremely beautiful. On it were continuous palaces all made from amethyst. They came in all heights, with different levels of splendor, and right in the center was an amethyst palace that reached up to 10,000 kilometers in height. It was the most glaring one. Under the shine of the sun, this majestic palace reflected a whole range of colors. This amethyst island was where the Gunwu department of the virtual universe company was stationed. As the universe was simply too vast, this location was naturally built in the virtual universe. Everything is going normally, yet the headquarters suddenly sent a supervisor envoy over. This Luo Feng, why the rush to break through to domain lord level? Within the palace was a huge round table with a diameter exceeding 1000 m, and around it were 3 huge thrones that were all filled. The one speaking was an ape-man with fur, dressed in an exquisite purple robe. He frowned as he spoke. His purple robe emitted rays of purple sparks. As if your dissatisfaction will do any good. Even if this Luo Feng didn't break through to domain lord temporarily, he would still enter the domain lord level in a few thousand years. As his home is the Gunwu universe country, when that happens, he would still become the supervisor envoy and come here. An extremely handsome man with gold long hair as glaring as the sun spoke with disdain. He had 3 golden feathers on the top of his head, purple lightning official, golden feather official. A gentle voice resounded. This was a young lady covered in a black robe and barefooted. Her gaze too seemed to make the space and time around warp. The order has already been given. This Luo Feng will very quickly arrive to take up his post. There's absolutely no point in you two arguing now. The ape-man purple lightning official and the handsome man golden feather official looked over. Luo Feng's status is the supervisor envoy. He has the authority to check on our work and many other things. He'll probably find unfavorable evidence against us. The black-robed lady said softly. Purple lightning official is in charge of the business side. It has a mess of deals within it. No matter how well the records are kept and evidence destroyed, if one seriously audited it, ha ha ha, monkey, even if you are not locked in the Starfield prison, you'd be sent to the outfields to pay for your crimes through battle. That demonically handsome man teased, and your military department is clean. The ape-man looked coldly at him. Still better than your business department. The handsome man frowned. All right. The lady frowned and ordered softly. Immediately, both men looked at the lady. She gave off an aura of rage. There are certain things that cannot be avoided and we'd have to break the rules. As long as the supervisor envoy is dead set on checking, with enough time, he'll definitely find a few problems. Even if the problem isn't serious, sacking us wouldn't be a problem. The ape-man and the golden-haired man nodded and agreed. No matter what, we have to maintain our positions. The ape-man said seriously. The 3 tycoons of the Gunwu department, what level of status was that? They had huge power, much higher than any other normal official level undyings. Among the military, business and army department, the hardest to actually check was the army department. Because the army department was simply too huge, and the Ganwu Universe country governed it together with the virtual universe company, if the supervisor envoy were to check the army department matters, he would still have to go through the high levels of the Ganwu Universe country. It was extremely complex. Checking the military and the business department was much easier. Firstly, that Luo Feng isn't stupid. If he really wants to check, that'll force us to oppose each other. The lady said softly, this wouldn't be good for him too. If he dares to go to such lengths, we'll assassinate him. The golden-haired man said coldly, kill him? The ape-man snorted. Gold Feather official, do you think his teacher True Yang Emperor is an idiot? True Yang Emperor is a sacred being amongst our ape race. And he's known for being brutal and protective. If you really dare assassinate Luo Feng, unless you do it to a point where not even a drop of water is spilt, wiping even your own memories to ensure there's no record of it, not allowing True Yang to check, otherwise, you'll definitely die. The gold-haired man squinted. True Yang Emperor? Killing someone like himself, Gold Feather official, was akin to squashing an ant. Wake up both of you. This Luo Feng entered the primal region after his first qualification battles. For such a genius, the highest of levels in the headquarters would take notice of him. The black-robed lady said coldly. And there's True Yang Emperor behind him. The most we can do is teach him a lesson and make him suffer a bit. We definitely cannot kill him. The moment we do, that would be a dead end for us. The ape-man and the gold-haired man nodded. We have no other way. The black-robed lady pointed into space. There a screen appeared and detailed plans showed. These are 3 solutions my underlings have come up with, take a look. The two looked on. After reading, they exchanged glances. Let's hope that Luo Feng is a smart guy. That way, he'll be able to enjoy the glory of his supervisor position during his time and pass it comfortably. Then we 3 won't have any problems. Otherwise, everybody will suffer together. The gold-haired man snorted coldly. After a while, a piercing alarm rang in the palace. The 3 tycoons stood up fiercely. He's come. The black-robed lady said softly. Let's go. We have to be extremely passionate in welcoming the supervisor envoy. Right, extremely passionate. The ape-man nodded. Maximum passion. The gold-haired man forced out what he thought was the friendliest smile he could give. In the east side of Amethyst Island, there was a plot of 10 square meters of amethyst stones. There a beautiful beam of light rose shot into the sky. Luo Feng appeared on the stones. So this is the office of the Virtual Universe Company in the Ganwu department? Luo Feng's eyesight was slightly blinded from the flash of light that brought him here. The entire island was simply an enormous artwork. The sight of light covering the many amethyst palaces was simply beautiful. Luo Feng flew up and flew towards the center of the island, as Amethyst Island was simply too huge, akin to a Black Dragon Mountain Empire Island. After flying for about 100,000 kilometers, Luo Feng saw a blur of silhouettes in the huge Amethyst Plaza. With a glance, he couldn't see an end to them. Right in front of all the people were 3 human silhouettes. An ape-man dressed in an extremely exquisite purple robe, he was smiling, as purple sparks surrounded him. A man with incomparably dashing gold long hair. His smile was resplendent, he was almost like a huge sun that gave off warmth. A young barefooted lady in a black robe. Her enticement, Luo Feng knew too, it was hypnotism, but he still felt happier after it. Welcome Supervisor Envoy, Mr. Luo Feng. The black-robed lady smiled. The blur of human silhouettes all immediately knelt down, simultaneously shouting respectfully, Greetings Your Majesty Luo Feng, Greetings Your Majesty Luo Feng. Hundreds of undyings bowed. Luo Feng, welcome into our Ganwu department. The black-robed lady smiled and said, Luo Feng, I've long heard of your reputation. To make it into the primal region in such a short time, it really is worthy of respect, admirable indeed. The gold-haired man smiled brightly. He seemed very friendly like a son, without any ill intent. Ha, Luo Feng, I'm from the Guanyang clan of the ape-man race. Your teacher True Yang Emperor is the greatest being in the Ka Han Sai clan. From young, I've always worshipped True Yang Emperor, he has always been my target. And today I get to see his disciple, it really makes me happy. Ha. The ape-man was incredibly passionate. Luo Feng stood there and looked at the 3 tycoons' warm welcome, the hundreds of undyings bowing respectfully and the countless others kneeling. He was shocked. The Gunwu department's welcome was too grand. And the three tycoons were all official level undyings. In terms of position, they weren't below him, yet they were so passionate. Luo Feng. The black-robed lady walked over, smiling. Let me introduce you. I know about the three of you. Luo Feng said directly and looked at the lady. You should be the head of the army department Black Yan official Risa. The black-robed lady smiled and nodded. You should be the head of the military department, Gold Feather official Ari Fu. Luo Feng looked at the gold-haired man, he too smiled and nodded. And you should be the head of the business department, Purple Lightning official Zhen Qian. Luo Feng looked at the ape-man. He laughed loudly and nodded. Looks like Luo Feng has already studied up on us quite a bit and know us pretty well. With your investigative abilities, this supervisor envoy job will be very easy. I'll require assistance from the three of you. Luo Feng smiled. Of course. Naturally. Of course. The three tycoons smiled and nodded. Luo Feng, let me introduce you. The black-robed lady smiled and pointed to the blur of human silhouettes, amidst them the undyings bowing respectfully. Our Gunwu department, as it governs over the Gunwu universe countries over 10,000 star fields and over 100 million galaxies, hence other than us, the three heads, there are 322 other undyings. There are also 820 million important personnel who help take care of the many star fields and galaxies. They are all here. Luo Feng held his breath, seeing the blur of silhouettes kneeling before him. Since it was actually 820 million people, no wonder even with his sight, he couldn't see the end of them. As his gaze swept across the 322 undyings, he suddenly saw a green-skinned old man with wrinkles on his head. He was shocked within. Man Luo. This old man was the old man he frequently saw in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire slaughterhouse. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.